into executive session for personnel contractual matters. Invited in will be Ms. Mayatsky, Mr. Hotel, Dr. Watson, and Ms. Ahern. All those in favor? Aye. Just in order, everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public input on agenda, non-agenda items. The Board of Education recognizes that it serves the residents of the enlarged city school district of Troy, New York, so we encourage public attendance at our meetings and we welcome your comments. Please limit your comments to no more than 5 minutes so that everyone who wishes to speak has an equal chance to do so. If you are unable to finish your remarks in a 5-minute time frame, you can supplement them by writing a statement to the board clerk. The board regrets that because of time constraints, we cannot respond to the public comment during the public comment period. Know that all speakers will display the courtesy and respect of their remarks as emblematic of our Troy community, and we appreciate your input. Is anyone wishing to speak this evening?
Good evening. Seth Cullen, President, Troy Teachers Association, high school science teacher. Tonight you're going to be voting towards the end of your meeting on the memorandum agreement that we reached last week. My members overwhelmingly supported it, about 240 to about 130. Jason, it would probably take me more than 5 minutes to recount the 4 years that it took us to get to where we are today, but I certainly won't do that. You folks all know what's been going on back and forth. But what I really do want to say is I want to thank the board for allowing the superintendent and myself and Bob Wallen, my vice president, probably, I guess, last fall, to just engage in a dialogue as professionals to come to an agreement. We had some issues way before that, and I think that, you folks allowing him to do that, to work with myself and my team, and then him and your team, is what actually got us a settlement. So for that, I thank you, and I hope in the future we can continue that kind of dialogue on a number of other issues. So I'm assuming and hoping that you're going to vote in the positive as my members did, but again, I just want to be up here to say thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Policy review, Mr. Carmelo.
So there's several changes, nothing substantial. You got the email. Certainly answer any questions. These are things that were reviewed by the committee 2 months ago, and we've had in front of the board last month. But any questions on any of them? Public use of school facilities. The changes were highlighted. I don't want to go through them all again. I think everybody's read them. The parent involvement one is one we need to do every year. It's the annual notice that Julie Curry looked at, and actually made no changes to that. Some voting and election recommended small changes from NISBA that we've incorporated and kept the things that are specific to Troy and school-sponsored student expression. So, any questions on any of those policies for the committee or for me?
Remove and we'll bring those to the July meeting for adoption. Treasurer's report, Mrs. Conyers.
Okay, the budget transfers this month, they're mostly salary related, and then due to our end of year spending and purchases. The internal claims auditor, he audited 560 claims totaling approximately $4.6 million. For the budget status reports, general fund, we're still projecting a surplus of about around $1 million, and on the bottom you'll see we readjusted a little bit just so you can see the math better, just the revenue versus expenditures, and then that $500,000 is going towards the capital appropriation, and then the ending fund balance we're still under the 4% cap. School lunch, the projections remain consistent as the last couple months. For special aid, all the grants are approved now, and the grants coordinator is working with technology for the learning technology grant for equipment to get that grant expensed.
have any questions for Mrs. Samuels? Thank you. Action items, superintendent recommendations for human resources. Move for consent agenda items 1 through 17. Goes all the way to page 20. 1 through 18, I'm sorry, 18. Any discussion?
Just looking at this for the last minute thing. And I'm looking at page 9, part C. An awful lot of people writing physical education curriculum. I just surprised. As compared to say something like technology or a comment.
Yeah.
So the district, in Troy, we have a 4-year curriculum management cycle.
Yes.
So each year, one core area is up for review that involves teachers in pre-K all the way through grade 12.
It's a core area.
And then it's paired with 2 smaller areas. So this year is the year for physical education, science and health. Science is the core area, and then physical education and health are the smaller areas.
So that explains the length of the list.
Right, so they would map this summer, and then they would be up again in 4 years. So we're really excited to have all of our PD teachers involved in that.
Well, that's
So it's a
great.
chance to
Okay.
look comprehensive at the curriculum.
Thank you.
I'd also like to recognize and congratulate Mr. Stiles on his new position as Carroll principal. Wish him luck there. And Sabrina and Mr. Marco, thank you for your teacher positions. Congratulations on those. All those in favor?
Later.
Yes,
And just
sir.
then wish the retirees best in their.
Yes, we said there's your session for retirees downstairs. We wish all of them the best. Thank them for their years of service. All those in favor?
Aye.
Staff matters specified. Move for consent agenda items 1 through 9.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor? Superintendent recommendations for programs. Move for consent agenda items 1 through 3.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Superintendent recommendations for business and finance. Move for consent agenda items 1 through 5.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Board resolutions. Move for consent agenda items 1 through 3.
Second.
Discussion. I just also want to commend Mr. Carmel and Mr. Cohen for the working together to get this contract finally established. I think for the first time in many years, every employee in this district will start in September with a contract. So that's a great accomplishment for this year to get that done. All those in favor?
Aye.
Future meetings on Monday at 6 p.m. here at Troy Middle School. It'll be board executive session only. I gave everybody the stuff for that. July 6th at 6 p.m. Troy Middle School will have a reorganizational meeting. At 6:15, we will have the regular board meeting. That might change up, so we might do executive session after the reorg, so it might be later to start on that pending the executive session calendar. August 3rd, 2016 at 6 p.m. at Troy Middle School, and August 31st, 2016 at 6 p.m. in the Troy Middle School. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to discuss prior to adjournment?
I do.
Yes, Mrs.
I
Howard.
would like to elaborate on the Troy Flag Day Parade. It was an excellent parade regardless of the weather. And it's always good to see our board member, Mr. Mayo. He's there assisting every single year, and he walks. And it's good to see our president who participates in the parade. He represents the Emerald Club. And we have an awesome Troy High School band. And I still have that song going, Skin Tight. It was excellent. I thank the staff here for teaching them and assisting them. What a wonderful parade it was. And the weather was not even bad. It was excellent. It was kind of cloudy and all, but the weather held up. And I thank everyone who helped participating in setting up the parade, and also the staff here at Troy High School, all the district. I just thank you all. It was very nice.
And clearly Hannah agreed with you. She seconded it.
Thank you,
Thank
Mrs.
you,
Howard.
Sarah.
I'd like to
Yes,
add
Mr.
something. During the week, we got an invitation from Sabina to her wax museum down School 16. I couldn't make it the night that I was invited, so last night, I went to School 2. And I met Martha and George, and Muhammad Ali, Shaquille O'Neal, Harriet Tubman, Michelle Obama, Larry Bird, Pocahontas. And what stood out was was that you walk up to the kid that's in full garb, and you push a button that said press here, and they would begin to recite. I mean, I found out things about these people that I really didn't know. And they were all impressive, every one of them. I thought it was just a great ordeal of the people that were there and everything that was going on. But you had a little girl there, Susan B. Anthony. I do not know who she is, but I will guarantee you, when she gets to the high school, she will be our gross medal winner. Because she stood up, and I mean, you wanted to listen to what she had to say, but the whole process, it was a great turnout at school too. It's awesome to see that, you know, from somebody that has seen it not there to somebody seeing it there. It was just great. I went up and saw your after-school program, and so good things are happening. And Sabina, I apologize. I mean, I'm sure it was the same thing, but it was just absolutely awesome. And I went in and I told one of my coworkers who teaches, and I told them all about the WAC. She said, "Oh my God!" I said, "Don't be stealing drugs."
School 16s was great as well. I got over there. I actually saw Sabina and said, I think I'm just going to go for these first couple, but the kids saw me coming and they got all right. So I ended up spending more time than I was going to, but
You were the principal of the district.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was
really
awesome, yeah. That's gorgeous.
Anyone else? If not, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.